So let me go share the link to the members. Copy my screen. Okay, get together, purple hair. Okay, so let me go share the link. Copy it. Paste, give people about 5 minutes to get on. While people are getting on, I'm going to continue taking notes down here because I want to be, I guess, on point with the notes. Let me make sure it posted. Okay, so it did post. So, oh, I did not, I was rushing. My makeup is not cute. Anyways, I did not, what am I talking about? I didn't hook up the microphone, so hopefully you guys can hear me just fine. Um, but okay. So January 2018 started thriftySLAY. LLC in June, I think. Hi. Hey y'all. I was gonna give people like 4 or 5 minutes to get in here while I finish taking notes. I hope y'all having a great day. It doesn't even feel like Sunday, y'all. My Friday was very lit. It felt like Sunday yesterday, like seriously. Thank you. LLC in July. We go to um okay, I'm about to start. I'm taking the last few notes down here. So yeah, we can go ahead and get started. Let me make sure y'all can y'all hear me? I see the microphone. It's at about 3 or 4. I didn't plug up the other mic, so hopefully it's good. And don't mind this back here. This is a mess, y'all. Okay, so this first stream, I'm not gonna make it too long. We're gonna try to be out of here by 7 before I start the 9 o'clock stream about friendships. But this stream is about branding myself and okay, awesome. So this stream is about branding myself and how I began doing that. So let's see. All right, so let's just do a little background. So I started working around age 15 or 16, and I had to be very independent because of my attitude and because of how I guess dealt with certain things in my household and stuff like that. So I had to be independent. I had to do a lot of things on my own. Nothing was really given to me or handed to me. I'll say that. Like I really had to work for everything. So, anyways, I started working at 15 or 16. I was working at a water park in Greensboro, North Carolina. And yeah, I was there for about 3 years. I think I quit in 2014. I think I quit in 2014, and that's just because I was promised a supervisor position when I came back in 2014. But then it was very, I don't want to be rude or anything like that, but I'm gonna be blunt. It was very whitewashed. As far as all the supervisors were mainly white. All the general managers were white. I don't think there were any black or Latina or Latino managers. Yeah, there weren't any other race. They were just white managers. And then supervisors, we had like, I say a token 5 to 10 supervisors. Mind you, there were a whole bunch. So anywho, basically, I was doing everything, even outside of my job description. I was working in other locations in foods. I was not a foods, like I wasn't supposed to be in foods, but I was supposed to be in admissions, basically doing season passes, tickets, parking, all of that good stuff. So yeah, so came back the third or fourth year. I guess it was my third year. I'm guessing it was my third or fourth year. And I was promised a supervisor position. They were like, definitely fill out the paperwork, definitely apply for supervisor. I'm like, all right, cool. Came back, still had the same uniform that I was wearing for already 3 years. So I'm like, why? Why? Like, I thought I was going to be a supervisor. So, um, yeah. Anywho, so I figured out that's definitely not what I wanted to be doing. I just was like, okay, this is not it, you know? So I wanted to make a name for myself and start working for myself. And I looked into network marketing. Well, really, it was kind of, I don't want to say forced upon me, but it was really like thrown in my face every single day. So I was like, I didn't know about it, but then I looked more into it and I saw the successes and I saw the stories. Of course, you see only the positive part of it, but you don't see the negativity. So I started network marketing when basically like a couple of months before I quit my job. And my aunt had introduced it to me and she was asking me over and over and over, to do it. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. So I came in very strong. Like I was building a team. But the brand I didn't really like so much. So I was like, yeah, no, this ain't for me, because I felt like it didn't have a tangible product. Like, what am I selling, And then I low key felt like a telemarketer because it was just like, I'm constantly calling these people, trying to get people on the team, trying to do this, trying to do that. And it just felt like it wasn't working out. And it felt like I was putting in so much work and not receiving anything. And so eventually, I did make money network marketing, but eventually I got into a different one, which was more like a weight loss one. And I was like, I did lose weight and I did like believe in the product, but I just felt like it wasn't something I can put my name on. Like you can say this is your team, this is your product, but you can't like it has somebody else's name on it. You're building somebody else's dream. So I was like, yeah, this is not what I want to do either. So Anywho, I moved back in with my parents. You guys, I told you guys about that. I think my adoption story, I told you about that. So I moved back in. I was still doing TLC, but then I was like kind of like letting it go, and working towards myself. So then I wanted something for myself, and in this whole process, within like a 2-year period, I was doing network marketing, but I also was doing like little Instagram boutique photos. I would do a little promo for them on my Instagram. My Instagram was already kind of built. Like I had about 10 to 20K because I was just really promoting self-love. I was doing outfits of the day or, just little things. And I started my Instagram pretty, I want to say late, because when Instagram came out, it was only for, I think, iOS, and then it came to Android, if I'm not mistaken. So I really couldn't have Instagram until it was released. Like I was scrolling on my iPod Touch, but I didn't really have Instagram. And that was 2012. So that's when I really, I guess, created my Instagram. So anyways, I was doing a little promo for Instagram boutiques. I asked about 100 boutiques if they were looking for promoters or anything like that. And I maybe got a response from 50, and I maybe got like 3 yeses. And they always say with every 50 no's, you're going to get about 1 to 5 yeses. And that's really how that went. Like, people will read your message, people will ignore your message. And that's understandable because they're boutiques, they're kind of big. They get a lot of, DMs and stuff like that. So it was okay. So then moving forward, as I started promoting Instagram boutiques, people on Instagram started asking me to make a YouTube channel. And I was like, well, what am I going to do on YouTube? I wasn't really big on YouTube. But when I moved back home, like my little brother and sister were always watching YouTube. And I'm like, what is so interesting about YouTube? I'll go there to find a hairstyle or a recipe or something like that. But I never really like thought people build, I guess, brands and themselves and careers off of YouTube. I just was like, okay, what am I going to do on YouTube if I started YouTube? So I started looking up different things on YouTube, what people were doing. I looked at what I was interested in, DIYs and stuff like that. And I cut my hair. I cut my hair in November of 2015, and around that time is when I started YouTube. So I would say I officially started December 2015. And I had already had a few videos on YouTube. Like, I did a suicide campaign reaching out to people who have ever been suicidal, thought about suicide, lost a loved one to suicide. So I did a campaign for that, and we did it through YouTube. So I did do that before I officially launched my channel, and I did do an eyebrow tutorial because everybody asks before I officially launched my channel. So I had 2 to 3 videos up here already, but then consistently, I would say I started December 2015, and I did like a plus size jean, I guess, DIY, which it wasn't really plus size because anybody could do it to their jeans. So I did that. I did how I guess curled my TWA and all of that. So that's how I started my channel, like with just simple videos. I didn't really have the resources. I didn't have a camera. I didn't have I'm trying to think, what did I record off of? I think I had an iPhone. I bought an iPhone 4 or 5 or something like that. Probably a 4. And I bought it off eBay, and that's what I was recording off of. And y'all, it was so crazy because I would record off of the phone, but then I would have my other Android phone sitting here, and I would have my Android sitting here, and I would be using that to record my voice because my iPhone 4, it picked up a decent video, but it did not pick up the voice. So I was like, dang. And then I didn't have lighting. So I would just sit in front of a window, and I can only record basically during the day. So I would have to get up super early to do YouTube and make content and stuff like that. Or if I did it at night, it was like very bad lighting. And if you stuck around, you know, like it was really bad. So, yeah, I didn't start out my channel with everything, the whole shebang, you know, so that came later. So, oh, let me write this note before I forget. So eventually I gained traction on YouTube because I had a following on Instagram. So most of the people who asked me to start YouTube came over from my Instagram, and, you know, those are my subscribers. So, again, I just started out with what I had. Like, if I had clothes I wanted to distress, or if I had leggings, turn them into crop tops, or, you know, just different things that I could do without, I don't want to say without investing in my channel, but without being costly. So, let's see. So I was doing that stuff. And then eventually, once you hit a certain amount of views, not so much subscribers, but views, then companies are going to start coming to you. And it might be companies you never heard of, you don't really care for. Companies asking you, especially hair companies. And at that time, I did not do virgin hair because I didn't know how to sew a wig. I didn't know how to do a sew-in or anything like that. So I was really just wearing like synthetic wigs, and that's what I was reviewing as well. So then, like I said, once you hit a certain amount of views, companies are coming for you. So they coming to you and asking you to do this. They pulling you in a bunch of different ways. And I guess I want to say around January or February, I would say the spring of 2016 was my first time making a wig. And it was like, it didn't work. And I was just, again, making a wig for a company who asked me to review some of their hair. And I was like, well, let me try to make a wig. And it worked. It looked nice, but it didn't fit right. Okay. So, that's how I began getting into hair, because a lot of hair companies started contacting me, and I'm like, okay. And then later on down the line, I would say July, people started asking me to sell the wigs that I was making. And I was like, y'all really want, you know, because I felt like if I'm not confident in what I'm creating, I don't really want to sell it. But people were like, girl, I will buy that wig off of your head. And I'm like, okay. But then, you know, you get feedback from people, and they're like, this didn't work, and all this other stuff. So then you take that feedback and you just continue to build on top of that, and you continue to grow from that. So in June of 2016, I went back to school. I was still doing videos, but not so much. I started vlogging and stuff like that. Not spring. I wrote the wrong thing, y'all. I began making wigs in summer 2016 as far as launching my line. I would say July, August is when I launched Quanna's Customs is what I called it at first, because I didn't know what to call it. So I launched it in July 2016. And as far as supplies and packaging, and everybody asks about certain things, like for instance, like stuff like this with my brand name. I designed the logo myself, thriftySLAY by Daquana White. I designed my own logo. I designed my own brochures, business cards, all of that. But I get them printed through Vistaprint. And I messed up the light. Oh well. So I get them printed through Vistaprint, and also this print shop at my school. And the actual boxes that I first had that were like ombre, I got those from eBay. Like, you really just have to go on Google and type in what you're looking for. If you're looking for a purple box that's corrugated, that's what you type in. It's just like, you got to research this stuff. So anyways, I found those boxes on eBay. The only thing is the shipping was a lot because the boxes were huge. And I need to close my window. And I'm trying to think of other supplies, like little goodies you can get from Shop Miss A, little goodies you can get from your local beauty supply store, little goodies you can get just in bulk. Like if you go to Sam's or Costco or BJ's and stuff like that, you can find little goodies to put inside your packaging anywhere. Like my bags, I get them from my hair vendors. A lot of hair companies who sell wholesale hair do custom bags. They do tags. Speaking of tags, the tags for my bundles and the labels, again, all of that I've done. Like, I'm a graphic designer, so I designed it myself. I'm looking at my printer because I use paper stock to print my labels, my tags, and I use label people to print my labels. Wait, I said that all fucked up. I use label paper to print my labels. And I'm trying to see if I'm missing anything. Like the little tag papers, thank you. I get those, like a lot of supplies I get from eBay, Amazon. I'm no longer really a fan of eBay. It's mostly Amazon now. I have nothing against eBay. I just found better stuff on Amazon and the shipping is quicker. So like tags and stuff like that, Amazon. And let me come back to supplies in a minute. So then we're going to talk about 2017 was business as usual, hair reviews, try on hauls. I was also in school, so I was trying to balance everything. So like, I don't want to say YouTube took a back burner, but when I had time is when I did it, basically. And that's just how that went in 2017. And I was also getting my first apartment, getting my driver's license, getting my first car. Just a lot was happening in 2017. So you might have noticed that. January 2018 is when I decided to call Quanna's Customs thriftySLAY, because I wanted to do more than just custom wigs. And I began doing closet sales and stuff like that. So that's how I got the name Thrifty, because if you think about it, I try on these clothes maybe one time, put them on the site for a cheaper price, and it's thrifty. It's like kind of thrifted, but in a good version. Like I don't want to say a bougie thrift, but that's how I got the word thrifty. And I was like, what's a good word for inexpensive or affordable? So I was like, okay, thrifty. And then slay was just a part of my everyday vocabulary. Like, yeah, I'm about to slay this, slaying that. So I just was like, okay, thriftySLAY by Daquana White is what I want. Oh, the lighting was fixed. So I began calling it that. I began getting my business cards. Thank you. I began, just branding it. Like, I wanted everything with thriftySLAY on it, like boxes. I wanted all of that. So again, boxes and bags can be purchased through your hair vendor. It's something else. Yeah, I'll come back to it if it comes back to me. So that's when I began calling it thriftySLAY in January. I also became I don't want to say I came under. I hired a new manager or assistant, because at first it was my best friend who was helping me manage all of this. But then at the time, she had started slacking off. So she was my best friend. I don't want to say we're no longer best friends, because in the friendships video, I will talk to you guys about that. But right now, we're basically not friends. She was managing me. Well, I hired her as an assistant or a manager, and she helped me with the post office and the packaging and all of that because it did become a lot, honestly, for one person. So for me to be doing it right now, I kind of just pace myself. And because I don't know, because it's summer basically, and I'm not in school right now until next week. Oh my gosh, I'm ready to be graduated, y'all. So I had a lot of time to do a lot of things, but yeah, hired a new manager in January because I felt like it was not working out. I felt like um it just wasn't working out. And at first he was doing great. Like he was on it, y'all. He was on the emails, he was on the packaging, he was taking stuff to the post office, all of that. So I didn't really have to worry about much except for the behind the scenes, not really behind the scenes, but getting the stuff on the site and actually creating the content and stuff like that. So eventually he fell off too. And I'm like, okay, well, um, and let me tell you guys how I want to save it for that video. I'm gonna save it. When I tell y'all how he said he didn't want to be the manager anymore or how he went about it, it was so awful. And that's why we're no longer cool. And people like to say business and friendships don't mix, but I've seen many friends become successful business partners. So I don't want to hear that. You understand? There is definitely friendships can turn into business relationships, and if you really support each other, you would want to see each other grow from that, but that's a whole nother story. So I got thriftySLAY, and I actually talked about this recently. I got thriftySLAY license, so it became an LLC in June of this year, June 2018. I went through LegalZoom. So basically, I really didn't have to do much but give them the information about my company, what I sell, where I'm located, all of that. And they basically did everything for me. Got my EIN. They did all of that. They sent like a good folder. You only had to really do, what did I have to do? I had to sign some forms and send them back. And that was pretty much that. I really didn't have to do much. So LegalZoom made it really easy. I could have done it by myself. Like my mom, she did hers on her own, like, went to the state and all of that, went through the state. But I just was like, let me just let them do it. So did that. I was interested in bundles. Now, I was interested in bundles maybe since February or March. And I was like, I really want to launch some bundles. I really want like some good quality bundles that are affordable. And I just thought about it. Like I kept mentioning it and I just thought about it. I didn't really do it. And at that time, I just was like, I just want to think about it. I know it's going to take money to invest. And I know some people get on here and tell you, you don't need money to start your bundle line. But for me, I was like, well, I want to have inventory. I want to have labels. I want to have my boxes. I want to have it set up already. Like I don't want to launch something and it's not prepared. I can't stand that. You understand? So I was like, okay, just thought about it. Eventually, after doing research for about, just after a bunch of testing and all of that, I finally was like, okay, so, and I went through a lot of vendors, and these vendors, you can find them on Instagram. Like if you are into hair already and wigs, they constantly follow you. They constantly follow you. So it's really not hard to find them, or you can just go on Google and look for virgin hair. My hair is so wet under my wig, y'all. But you can look for virgin hair vendors wholesale. And that's what you would type in Google. And that's pretty much how I went about finding them, because, nobody on here is going to tell you, they're going to tell you, oh, you can start this way. But most of the time they're advertising their business, or they're just not going to tell you. And anywho, that's that. I'm trying to think of what else. So I officially launched the bundles in 2018. Now getting sponsors for YouTube and stuff like that, YouTube and Instagram. At first, what I did was I reached out to them. I reached out to them and I made a nice professional email and I would introduce myself. I'm DeQuana White. What I looked, I guess, to do. I was like, I'm a plus size woman, and I want to actually represent women of all sizes and, introduce brands to I guess, my audience at the time, which really wasn't so much. So they probably were like, girl, we ain't about to send you no product to us, be sponsored or anything like that. And I know a lot of people think when you're sponsored, you're not authentic. But if you watch me, you know I don't sugarcoat anything for a company. If it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. If it's great, it's great. And I'm going to say that in a video. And a lot of people will comment and be like, a lot of people will comment and they can tell by my mood if I like something, or, you know, and a lot of the times some stuff might be free, but most of the time, not most of the time, but a lot of the time I'm also buying stuff too. And that's another thing. You want to invest in your channel as it grows. You want to invest in your brand. The money you're making, it's not just, okay, I sold this, let me go spend this money. Like, it's okay, I sold this, what else do I need for my brand? Do I need more hair? Do I need more labels? Do I need this? Do I need that? Do I need business cards? You know, so you want to just invest it back into yourself rather than just blowing it, you know, buying a new purse, buying a new whatever, you know. So you definitely want to invest in yourself constantly. I think I've had the same camera. So for cameras, I started out with a phone in daylight. And then I'm writing this stuff down as I'm talking. Then I started out with an Olympus TG50. And it was fine. It just had like a annoying sound to it. And people probably never noticed, but I noticed. It was very annoying. So the video was very clear though, especially in the daylight. So then eventually I got the Samsung NX3000. And these cameras, you can go get these from pawn shops. You don't have to buy them brand new. You can get them refurbished off of eBay or any other electronic sites, Amazon. What else? And I'm still using the Samsung NX3000, and I believe it was refurbished. It originally goes for maybe like $400 to $500, but who? No, I was really like hesitant, and I do want a new camera, but I'm not really too worried about it right now because I'm still finding out new stuff to do with my current camera. So I'm just like, I'm gonna stick it out with this for a minute. And if I want a new camera in later down the line, I'll get a new one. As far as lighting, apparently the lights in my bedroom are very bright, and sometimes I don't need the ring light to record. But I got these ring lights from Neewer, the brand Neewer, Neewer, and I got them from, did I get it from Rakuten? No, that's another thing. So I got these might be from Rakuten. I think I got one from eBay and the other one from Rakuten.com. And Rakuten is RAKUTEN.com. And the actual stands that they, I guess, sit on, I got those from Amazon and eBay. And then I have a backdrop like stand that I use sometimes. I don't really always feel like pulling it out. So I don't really use that too much, but I had one from Rakuten and I had one from Amazon, and the one I'm using now is from Amazon because when I moved like 3 to 4 times within the past couple of years, and then going back and forth to campus, I kind of lost a lot of stuff. So that's what I use for background. As far as background colors, you know how people have like the paper, well, not the paper, but like the solid color behind them. It's called bulletin paper, and you know, like a lot of teachers and stuff use it. So it's basically, you know, the bulletin boards in school. That's the paper that they use to roll it out. That's what I use for the different color backgrounds. I used to use backdrops from eBay. Yeah, but they were wishy-washy. Like sometimes it went well with the lighting, sometimes it sucked. So I just was like, let me just do solid colors or just have the room that I'm in the background. As far as wig making stuff, different caps, I've tried a whole lot of different caps. I started out with dome caps, which I think I'm going to continue using dome caps for hot glue method. But dome caps, you can use now I've been using like these mesh caps with adjustable straps for the sewing machine method because it's easier and it's more sturdy. I can't use the spandex style caps that I was using because it makes the wig too small. The mannequin heads that I sew on, or the wig forms, are from Amazon. I should be sponsored by Amazon, y'all. The wig stands, I have like 3 of the table ones that you can adjust. Amazon and eBay. And then, oh, my best friend snapped me. She must like the purple. Her back here, I have 4 of her over here from Amazon. This stand is from Amazon. And you know, you can get sewing machine, well, a sewing machine from like, I got mine from Amazon, but you can get it from Walmart, Joann's, and stuff like that. Sewing needles and T-pins and stuff like that. Just like little supplies that you might need. You can find it on Amazon and eBay. Like, I buy my thread and stuff in bulk, like maybe 12 at a time from Amazon. I use nylon thread if I'm hand sewing it, and I use cotton thread, or what's the other one? Just like in your regular sewing machine aisle, regular thread. For the sewing machine, hot glue. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. I mean, it's just regular hot glue. Like, I get Target, Walmart, just different stuff like that. Um, Going back into sponsors, like I said, at first, when I didn't have a large following, I guess people would consider it large. I originally just reached out to them, as I mentioned, with an email or through their contact form. I introduced myself and what I wanted to do. I gave them my social handles, and whether, again, with every 50 emails, you're going to get 1 to 5 yeses. What really grew my brand was working, or I would say fashion to figure was one of the most popular videos on my channel, and they sent me over some jeans for plus size women. And that really like grew the channel. If you're gonna come to YouTube, and it's room for everybody, like, because everybody likes different personalities. I watch so many different people, y'all, like, in so many different categories. Like, it's not just one thing. So you don't have to just get on here and say, oh, I'm gonna do makeup because that's, you know, was a popular, or I'm just gonna do fashion, you know. And for me, I can't just do one thing. Like, I can have mostly fashion or mostly this, mostly that, but I can't just do one thing because I would get bored with myself, you know? So that's why I started introducing cooking and pillow talks and all this other stuff, which I actually need to do more pillow talks. I know. So, yeah. At first you can reach out to people and sponsors and brands and stuff like that. But then eventually, like I said, once you reach a certain amount of views, they're going to reach out to you. They're going to email you. And at first, I didn't charge hair companies. I didn't charge anybody because I was really just using the product for content, you know, or using the product for content that I can actually style, or, you know, yeah, just content. So, um, eventually down the line, I did begin to charge companies, and you're probably like, well, how do you decide or figure out what you want to charge a company? And you really want to charge it by your worth, you know? People think like, oh, it doesn't take much to do this, but say I want to do a wig review or a hair review for a company. So I have to get the hair, I have to make the wig, I have to, I guess, style it, customize it, get on camera, record the video, and then I have to edit the video. Then I have to upload the video and do all of this, find the links and all of that. Like, it's not just, oh, I'm going to get some hair and talk about it. Like, it's more than that goes into it. And companies don't really understand that. So they really try to charge you below what you're worth. I always shout out Yanni Red. I always shout her out because she definitely introduced me to Social Blue Book. And if you go on there and type in your social media handles, it'll tell you what you're worth. So don't get mad if it says, okay, you're worth 50 bucks or 25 bucks, you know, because that's fine. At least you're charging a company. At least you're, I guess, getting your worth. You can also charge more if you want to. You decide that, you know. So why am I stuffed up? So you can definitely decide what your price is, or you can just go on a website like Social Blue Book and let them tell you what your channels are worth in their eyes. I'm trying to think of another site like that, but Social Blue Book is definitely one of the main ones. So also, if you're trying to find sponsors, you can go to different companies like RevFluence, which is RevFluence, or FameBit. FameBit, I maybe went through them like, I'll say a good 5 times, and I went through them doing a few hauls and like a what's on my iPhone video and stuff like that. But you can definitely go apply for campaigns through there. It's another thing. I think it's called Grapevine. And then also, if you're like, say you go to Charlotte Russe or Boohoo or something like that, and you buy a bunch of clothes and you haul them, you can go through Magic Links and you can see if you can receive commission from certain companies. It's another thing like Share a Sale, I believe. Share a Sale, and I think it's .com, where you can use basically referral links and make a commission. So you definitely have to see who offers that. If you go on like Reb Dolls, and I don't know if Fashion Nova has it yet, but Boohoo and stuff like that, you scroll to the bottom of their site and you can see if they have like an ambassador link that you can sign up for or apply for. And again, you're not always going to get a yes from a lot of these companies, because I received a lot of no's from companies that are all definitely doing PR hauls now. But a lot of companies will tell you, like, I don't want to throw any companies under the bus, so I'm just going to say a lot of makeup brands will tell you, oh, we're not looking for ambassadors. We're not looking for this. We don't do PR because our stuff is affordable and stuff like that. But then you go on YouTube and you see them send like huge PR packages to like the mainstream makeup artists and YouTubers and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, but y'all definitely emailed me and told me that y'all didn't do stuff like that. But again, again, you definitely just have to take it with a grain of salt and just on to the next company, because like I said, with a lot of no's, you're going to get a few yeses. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm feeling like I covered everything kind of. I'm looking around because a lot of like my stuff is in here as far as boxes and stuff like that. Paper Mart is where I got my like plain boxes. They're corrugated, so they fold in. My bundle boxes are from my hair vendors, and I like them, but I wanted them to be corrugated as well. So anyways, I will be back on here at 9 o'clock talking about ending friendships or pausing friendships and all of that stuff. Trying to make sure I covered everything, which is why I keep looking at my notes. But I would say definitely main thing is being consistent, and definitely investing back into yourself, whether it's buying a light, whether it's buying a camera, buying clothes to do a haul and stuff like that. Oh, one major thing, a lot of people ask about my website, and thank you. It's not done yet. That's just like the underpainting for her. I'm going to come back on top of it with some color, her skin tones and stuff like that. But yeah, that's just her underpainting right now. What was I saying? Oh, where do I do my website? My website is through Wix, and I pay a yearly fee so that I'll have a premium account with my store. And Wix always has like sales and stuff like that. So I used a blank template, and then I basically designed my site however I wanted it. And they do have templates if you don't feel like you are that, I guess, artsy or creative. They have templates to help you out, but I just erased everything and started from a blank slate because I knew how I wanted to do my site. And you can go through there and definitely manage your products in your store, and just it's a lot you can do through Wix. So that's why I really like Wix. So yeah, I know how to HTML and code and build websites from scratch and stuff like that. Like I just took that class this summer, and I learned how to build websites, but I don't think like with my content was on my website, that would take me forever to build a solid website with HTML and coding. So maybe later down the line I'll do that. But for right now, I'm sticking with Wix. My video editor is Filmora. And again, a lot of this information that I'm giving you is stuff like that I keep in my video descriptions. Like I tell you what camera I use, what lighting I use, and what I use to edit my videos, which is Filmora. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to touch on. I will see you guys at 9 o'clock, and it's 7 o'clock. What do you know? I actually hit the deadline, not the deadline, but the goal. I said I wanted to end by 7. So I'm going to actually go film this hair review, and I'll probably be switching wigs for the next live if I not fixed it, but make the other one in time. So anywho, I'll see you guys back at 9 o'clock, and we're going to talk about friendships and stuff like that. See you at 9, Courtney. And yeah, let's see.